Hello, Augies Worldwide. I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with another episode of Ask Dave. Today we're going to look at something a little bit different. I was approached by a Chinese manufacturer that, as near as I can tell, is pronounced ITEHIL. And what they had was something that, although it's more for the prepper, would be of great interest to ham radio operators. It is a portable power station, and it comes with solar panels. And we'll take a look at both of those today. Hello, Augies Worldwide. I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with the mystery box. I think I know what's in it. This was left down by the highway in the rain, so I hope it's in good shape. And I don't think it came all the way from China. I think it came from one of their distribution areas. And it is heavy. It is very, very heavy. And it looks like there's two boxes inside here. These are foldable solar panels. And this box, which I'm going to open while it's in this box, because what's inside is very heavy. Good. And inside this box is yet another box, and it has a handle on it that when you need some help getting out. Okay, there we go. This is it. Move this out of the way. This is a portable power station, 500 watt hours. Okay. Let's see what's inside. And let's see what we have to do to get this out of here. This is a little box made by ITEHIL. ITEHIL, we'll call it that. That might be a alliterative Chinese name. Here we have a switching adapter and some cords and a connector with a kind of plug that you would plug into, well, it looks like it goes on the side of this. These go to the solar panels. Okay. Alright, we'll figure out what that is. And then let's see what's down here in the box. It's heavy. This is the control panel for it. There's a cigarette lighter. There's a place to plug in the solar panels here. This goes to PC, and that looks like a USB-C, and it's got DC 12 volt. Here's a couple little charging stations and kind of a universal adapter where you can plug in 110 volts and a few switches on them. Okay, all kinds of warnings on the box. So we'll take a look at each one by one. First of all, let's take a look at the unit itself. It's this unit right here. This thing is not light. It has a fairly sizable lithium iron phosphate battery in it. So what we see over here on the thing, there's the name, ITEHIL, okay? And what is unfortunate is that the lettering is in in a very hard to see gold on a dark gray platform, so you almost have to use a flashlight to see what these things say. This is the main power on. This down here turns on the AC, or you can turn on the DC, or both. It also has a light. The light is over here on the side. You push it once, you get that. Push it a second time, it gets brighter. Push it a third time, it flashes for whatever that's worth. And it's doing a Morse SOS. And one more punch turns that. Now this is where you put the input in. There is a battery charger that comes with it that plugs in right there. And there's also a place here where you can plug in the solar panels, which have this weird matching plug over here. And then for your DC outputs, you got two USBs. You've got a USB OC, QC. It's hard to see. I don't know what that is. This PD right here looks to me like a standard run-of-the-mill USB-C. Then we have down here a regular cigarette lighter plug. Now we also have two outlets here, 100 to 120 volt, 500 watts. Well, what is it really? Okay. If we go over here and look at the oscilloscope, we see this voltage waveform. It's obviously a synthesized waveform because of the graininess. This one right now is measuring VRMS of 112 volts. So this is not a 120 volt inverter. It's 112. Now, one of the questions that people often ask when they see these is, will it work with reactive loads? So here is a reactive load. It's a screw shooter. And this is a 3.5 amps. Of course, it has a much greater kick on startup. Let's see what happens. Seems to come up. Now notice there is on the thing there, you can see the kick, the inductive kick, both when taking power in and when letting it out. Okay? So that's a nice thing to know, that you can use this with a drill or something like that. I have a little lamp on here, and let's take a look at the screen. If we take a look at the screen, we see 99%. It says 50 hours to go before it's emptied. The input power, the output power is 6 watts. The input power is 0. Okay, now the instructions consist of this one plastic-coated piece of paper here. And they'll tell you that it's rated 500 watts with a surge of 750, capacity of 500 watt hours. So you got to keep an eye on that. It's not got a huge backup to it. The battery capacity is, it says 150 amp hours, and that's at 12 volts. Okay. Battery cycle, you can do about 3,000 plus times. So if you did this completely, discharged it and recharged it once a day, it would last, about 8 years. Charging time, 4.5 hours. Yeah. It's got different ports on there. 14.8 volt at 9 amp. That's the AC input right there. A car charger here, or solar charging. And now this thing can come with a set of solar panels. And you want to read this carefully because it explains all the different types of things that you get. Okay, so let's go take a look at the solar panels. And the solar panels come in a protective box, which if I were you, I would save. Come on. Well, assuming you can get it open. In here, wrapped in plastic, are the solar panels in their own box. Okay, so you can take them this way. Okay, now in here are the attachment cables for various things. Okay, over here we have adapter cables for different kinds of things you might need 12-volt adapters for. And this little thing right here is one of the outputs, or the output, for the solar panels. Okay. Now, let's open this up. One, two, three, 4 panels. They're 25 watts each, so this is a total of 100 watts, which means it will produce about 7 amps in full sun. Here's a thing you can use to prop it up with, like that. Okay, and there's a couple of those on here. All right, and there's some instructions on how to set it up. So a 100-watt panel at 7 amps, if you're camping or something like that, boondocking, whatever, you will find that this will completely charge your battery in several hours, about 4 hours or so. Okay? And it's got all the cables that you need right in here. Now I want to show you just one other thing with this. It also comes with this little box right here. And this box, when opened, gives you the AC charger, which also has a little, no, that's a decoration. Uses a standard computer cable, and then this plugs in over here where it says input power. Now this is a problem because, see right here where it says DC out, you don't want to get those two confused. You've got this, you can turn it into an extra power plug. This right here will go into there and power anything like a little QRP radio or something like that with that. And then this right here is a standard connector that goes with solar panels. You want to use a 12-volt panel. You don't want to go above 30 volts. You could try it with a 24-volt panel, but you're getting close to the edge on that. It says max 30 volts. Okay, so you got that. Then you got all those cables that went with power supply. Now there are a number of these available. This is the one we're looking at here, which you can see runs for $500. Okay, I believe it's shipped from in the U.S. Okay, and shows all the fun little things it'll do. And you can get the solar panels here. See, frequently bought together are these solar panels. This solar panel right here. Let's go to there. It says the total price for each is $649.98. Now, if you were to buy the solar panels separately, it'd be $150. So you're really not saving anything. But this is quite an interesting little solar panel, and you can see that it's got all the little cables with it that we talked about earlier, even a video. Okay, it's a 100 watt, 18 volt, which is a standard so-called 12 volt panel. Will give you about 21 open circuit voltage and about 7 amps closed circuit current. Okay, now this is interesting. Monocrystalline silicon. Okay, most solar panels these days are made of polycrystalline silicon, which is actually slightly less efficient than this. It says can reach up to 21.5%. This is a pretty good, for a 150 watt panel, considering it's portable, foldable, everything like that. You're doing pretty good with this thing right here. Okay, so there you have it. Now, caveat, this was sent to me by the company free of charge to review. I haven't really found anything on it that I don't like. If I do, I'll mention that in a future video. But so far, everything I've found, there's a lot to like. And it is heavy. Okay, the solar panels are heavy. The box here is heavy. Not as heavy as if it were a lead acid battery. And it's not going to last you forever. They mentioned, let's see, the battery capacity, 150 amp hours. That's a pretty good sized battery. Okay, and that's of course at 12 volts. If you want to figure out the kilowatt hours that are in there. We've checked it on the oscilloscope. We note that it is not 120 volts. It is 110 volt. Okay, and second, it is 60 cycle. It's 60 cycle, not 50 cycle. So that was nice of the Chinese to do that for the American market, which runs at 120 volts, 60 cycle, whereas theirs is 220 volts, 50 cycle. Okay, and it's got all kinds of options, including the light on the side. Altogether, I got to tell you, I'm impressed. Now, would I buy this with channel funds if I had to pay $650 plus shipping? I don't know, because, you know, I don't normally use a charging station like this or a portable power supply, but it intrigued me because I thought there are a lot of hams out there who are into this sort of thing. I like this one, I have to say. I like it. I like its versatility with all the different cables. The thing does have a fan in it. It runs pretty quietly. And nice sine wave output. And it can run inductive loads too. So maybe not at full speed, but it does pretty well. So I like it. I like it. I really like it. Now, another company's sending me one of these too. They must be all the rage right now. In any event, from the ITEHIL, which is available with the panels for about 600 and whatever it was, 78. It's a pretty good price, I think, for what you're getting. So, there you have it. If you would like to support this channel financially, you certainly can. Go to dcasler.com/support and look for a way that suits you. And until we next meet, 73.